get a lot of credit, is Steve Blackman from Muscular Development. I mean, those guys have done an extraordinary job for years and years and years to promote health, to promote fitness, to promote strength, to promote bodybuilding, powerlifting, weightlifting, and all of those kind of things. So the contributions they made is gigantic, and I hail them for that.
Giles Thomas here at the Arnold Expo 2018. I'm joined with a very good friend of mine, someone I've not seen for a long time, Lee Priest. Lee, long time no see, mate.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I think the last time I saw you, I was cleaning your apartment.
That is correct. Do you want to tell us about that?
I think I was over there doing some tours after one of my shows, and I stayed at your house, and it was a fucking mess, so I decided to clean it up. God knows how you had a girlfriend at the time, because the place fucking sucked.
I was actually single at the time, so thanks for that, mate.
Now you got a girlfriend, it's probably because it was clean, wasn't it?
Right, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so we did that tour. That was like in 2006 now, you know? That's been a long time.
Yeah, what, 12 years or so, and I'm still here.
Still here, still alive?
Yeah, I'm still here. You could be dying now. Fucking diabetic.
Yeah, so yeah, it's true, yeah. Anyway,
past that, yeah. You don't want to talk about it?
No, not really.
Why not? It's good to talk about these things.
No, diabetes. It wasn't from anything like, I never took insulin. It wasn't
from insulin and stuff and all the drugs?
Never took insulin.
Yeah, I can tell that, because you don't look like you've taken drugs. Well, if you did, they were fake, because nothing worked.
Still giving me shit. Anyway, so you weren't too well recently, were you? Do you want to tell us about that?
I just had a tooth infection. I had the tooth removed, and then from the tooth being removed, I got some sort of abscess which infected the blood. I forget the name of it now. It's one of those technical names, but it somehow then affected the heart. So I was in sort of not intensive care, but in like my own little room for 9 days, just getting every antibiotic. I ran every test under the sun, and then pretty much as quick as it came, it cleared up. So that was October last year.
Are you back training?
I'm still training a little bit, but it's because of my neck still from the car accident 3 years ago. I got a crushed nerve still. I did one operation, but the nerve's still crushed. So on this side, got a bit of atrophy on this side just because there's no signal going to the muscle. So I'm going to get another operation this year, and hopefully if that takes and works, then I'll probably get back into heavy training, and maybe, who knows, maybe one more comeback.
Wow, really?
Maybe.
I mean, you're back here in the USA. You haven't been back for a few years. Here at the Black Skull booth. How's it been generally at the Arnold Classic? How's the reception been for you?
Good, really good. Had lots of fans, you know. I guess being as dumb as I am and crazy as I am, I always had the fans. And like I said, having competed in the IFBB for 2006 was my last IFBB show. So, but you know, the fans have always been loyal to me. I guess, like I said, I've always been down to earth. I don't put myself on a pedestal. I think I'm better than anyone else. So I think if you just be, true to the fans and they see that you're true and you're just like one of them, they hang around for a long time. So I've been lucky over that, or they're just as fucking dumb as me. So.
One thing about Lee Priest fans is they are very loyal. Like you said, you haven't competed in the IFBB since 2006. You did a comeback in 2013. They've always stayed with you. You've always remained popular. Why do you think that is?
I don't know, because I used to see some of those posts on the MD boards about Lee Priest, and I'd get all these hits and all these pages, and then they'd get removed. So I don't know why that was.
Yeah, you always get a big response, either way, don't you?
Yeah, I think, like I said, because I've always just been honest and open, and I just sometimes tell it like it is, and they like that, because people aren't dumb. They can tell when people are bullshitting or just reading the company line, saying the same thing over and over. But if you just be yourself, sure, you're going to have people that don't like you and stuff like that. Like Steve Blackman doesn't like me, but I love you, Steve. And people like that don't happen. But but I just do my thing, and I am who I am. So I think after all these years, people know him that way. And sure, I joke around about a lot of stuff, but you can't take it serious. Half the stuff I say about people, I pretty much like everyone, even you, Steve. I still love you. So, I just joke around, and, some people, if their egos can get upset, but, you've known me long enough that I am who I am, and if I really don't like you, I don't talk about you. So if I talk about you, I still love you a little bit. Okay, Steve.
I'll be honest, I've always been able to separate your online persona from the person I know, because we spent that full week together. We drove around the country, and we made love, beautiful, sweet love, every night.
Get a Jaguar, I remember it now.
Do you remember with all the luggage? And because you brought
the chocolate bars in the car. You were grabbing the chocolate bar and accidentally grabbed my penis, but it was okay.
What about the sat nav that didn't work?
That was your driving, but yeah, I have fond memories.
Good.
My arsehole's still sore, but it's okay.
It's a giver, not a taker.
Yes.
Like I said, it's like the person I know from that online persona. It's like it's almost like two different people, because like I don't think we even hardly talked about bodybuilding, did we? We just talked about family and holidays.
That's the thing, see, like I said, bodybuilding's something I do, and I do enjoy training and that sort of thing, but if I'm not in the gym and I don't like I said, so many guys, I got friends, all I want to talk about is training, drugs, this, food. I said, if I can get over it, like I said, I love to go to the gym. When I'm at the gym, I love training hard, but outside the gym, I just want to talk about anything, I'll talk about the grass growing or whatever, getting the sex change. I don't get the sex change, that could be on the books, but, I might do the women's bodybuilding next, but I just talk about anything. See, I can just go off and ramble about fucking anything. I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth.
I remember we talked a lot about family that whole week, and I remember at the end of the week you said, do you know what, I haven't been back to Australia to see my family for so many years. I think when I get home I'm going to book a holiday to Australia. I think I feel like it's kind of all these discussions. I felt like I want to reconnect with my family. And then I think a year later you moved back to Australia, didn't you?
Yeah, well I did, because originally when I went to America in 1992, 93, I originally planned, because I was only 19, turning 20 to get my pro card, I was only going for 2 weeks. And 2 weeks ended up being 18 years, and that 18 years, the first 8 years I was waiting for a green card. I couldn't leave America, so I didn't really see my family at all. And coming from a close family, you miss so much stuff and that sort of thing. And then my mum always said I was a loving child, but when I was in America, she'd always call up and say, oh, you don't tell me you love me anymore. And really that was just my defense mechanism, because when I was over in America by myself, I didn't have any friends, didn't really know anyone. Sure, you had acquaintances, but I didn't want to think about being home, because if I did, I'd want to go home. So for pretty much 18 years in America, I put up a wall, so I wouldn't think about it. But then it just come time, once the grandparents got sick and the grandparents passed away, it's like, figured out I missed out on so much, so I moved back home.
Are you glad you moved back home now?
Yeah, I like it there, but the only problem is I love Australia, but when you come to things like this, and I'm going to go to Body Power in England in May, and then I'm going to go to FIBO, it's just so far to travel. So are you going to be at Body Power?
Body Power, possibly, yeah, possibly.
Possibly, I'll come clean your house then while I'm over there.
Yeah, honestly, I've never had a house guest that's left the house tidier and cleaner than when he came.
Exactly, it was a beautiful place, apart from all your condoms under the couch. But
yeah, let's talk back. I remember the first time I ever saw you, a picture of you, is when you did the Niagara, 1990. And I think you were an amateur, and I think they granted your pro status and you took 9th place.
I originally planned to come over to do the amateur Niagara, but then once Jim Mannion and them heard that I'd won the Australian titles and that, I got my pro card, so I ended up doing the pro side of the Niagara. Yeah, I got 9th place in my first show.
What was your favourite moment of all your bodybuilding career?
Getting suspended. No, that happened too many times. I think people always say that, but I don't really have one. Like whether it be the Olympia stage, the Ironman, any pro show, any time I was on a pro stage, I was happy. It's like, okay, the Mr. Olympia is meant to be the Super Bowl, and the Arnold Classic's a big show too, but the Ironman or the San Francisco Pro, anyone, I treat them all the same. To me, a pro show's a pro show. Okay, the Olympia can be the ultimate, but I didn't treat it any different to any other pro show. So, but as I said, the competing I never really loved. It's more like these sort of things, coming to the expos, meeting the fans. You had to compete due to sponsors want you to compete, but I just rather get out there and just be down with the people and meet the people rather than be on stage and that. And I think, like I said, there's always, sadly now, you get some bodybuilders with egos and all this sort of bullshit, but I've always just been the same. I was born a fuckwit, I'll probably die a fuckwit. So.
It's like you were one of the you were one of the kind of like now we have the 212. You're one of the guys that was one of the shorter, lighter guys that was really doing well. You won pro shows. Competing in what, around 220.
I think I was competing around from the heaviest I ever competed was 218, but generally my best was 204 to 209, somewhere in there.
I think your heaviest was when you had the big hair mullet, the 2003 Olympia. Yeah, that weighed about 220 pounds.
Exactly. Yeah, but around the 204 to 208 is probably my best. When I won the San Francisco Pro, when Chris was 260, he got second. I weighed 199 when I won the San Francisco Pro.
It was a 2005 Ironman, or was it 2006 Ironman? 2006, yeah, and it was you and Dave Henry 1 and 2. I mean, that's two 202 guys, not even 212 guys that were taking, the first big pro show of the season.
Yeah, that was like my first, like my 4th pro show win or whatever. But then that was my last. No, I did Arnold Classic after that. None of my last IFBB shows back then. Yeah, but I said I always liked competing. We didn't have a 202. I think it started probably a year or two after that when I finished. But I said I liked the open. It was always a challenge, but I never thought of it, as a thing being a lighter guy or anything like that. But now it's sad. People always talk about maybe Flex Lewis should do the open, but it's always hard to see how. I think he'd do well, but would they judge him fair now? Because now they have the 212. It'd be like if he does an open, they might be like, hey, you belong in the 212, so we might not get judged fair.
Bonac was a 212 and he won the Arnold last night.
Yeah, I know that, but it's like I still see it's like I think they like flex there type thing, so having him move out, I don't know if they'll judge him fair.
But the thing is, I interviewed Neil Hill 4 years ago, and this was 4 years ago, and he said, Giles, he said, the best Flex Lewis will never be seen on a 212 stage, because the best Flex Lewis I see, and this was 4 years ago, is at 225.
Yeah.
So you're not really seeing the best version of Flex on stage, arguably.
I always think, people are going to compete anywhere like Flex. If you're around that thing, it's like, okay, if there's a show coming up like the Olympia where they've got a 212 or an open, I reckon just diet down, be your best. If you're 212, do the 212. If you can't make it, do the open. So
obviously, you're saying smelling a comeback?
No, you never know. Like I never say never. So it's one of those things. If I do a comeback, I'd have to make sure, like my conditioning at the Universe. If I had that conditioning and maybe a bit fuller, I would. But I don't want to be one of these people where, say it was like the Arnold 212, and I'm like, oh, Lee's making a comeback. Everyone's like, here comes Lee, here comes Lee. Yeah. Oh fuck. I was like, I don't want to walk out and be like that. So if I could look like I used to look and that sort of thing, I would. But you got to know when to stop.
But you know what, Lee? 2013, when you made your comeback in that other show, I think that's one of the best conditions you've ever had.
Yeah, it probably was. I don't know. It's probably my lightest I've been there because I just didn't know who I'd be up against. So I knew, I wasn't worried about the size. I just figured conditioning, because that's the good thing about being shorter. The more conditioned you come in on stage, you can have the illusion of looking bigger. So I just went for conditioning more than anything.
I mean, so with you, when you were obviously with the IFBB, it was the glutes and hams, it's like, and now it's even more prevalent in the class that, in bodybuilding, that, everyone's looking for those areas to be shredded. And 2013, that was the first time I'd really seen you with really deep separation. What did you weigh for that one?
I don't know, I probably would have been...
It was a height class, wasn't it? So you didn't need to weigh yourself.
But I would have been in like around the 195 pound mark probably.
Oh, really?
Would have been pretty light, but I've never weighed myself, but the glutes were styrated.
So anyway, did you see the Arnold last night?
Only photos, didn't go. I get up early. I was up at 4 o'clock this morning and then went down to the gym, so I was in bed by 9. As you get older, you do that,
Yeah.
Go to bed early, get up early.
I remember I was talking once and you said, I've been training this is back in 2006, I've been training 25 years or whatever, and you said that you've never ever really missed a training session. You train 5 times a week, and this was consistently, never really, I think you said the longest break you'd ever taken off was 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
Not even taken off, but the longest I've taken off lately was when I was in hospital for 9 days.
Well, yeah, you're excused. Yeah.
But like I said, if I had up 9 days in hospital for that, travelling, when I travel here, you got a day you miss from travelling, but I'd say if I've been training 35 years, if I had up every day I've had off, I'd probably only total 7 to 8 months in total my whole life. So I just love training. Even like I said, even at the moment, I can't train properly due to my neck. I still go to the gym because for a couple of days I wasn't, then I'd be pissed off I couldn't train. But now I go to the gym, can't do what I want to do, and I still get pissed off, but at least I did something. But it's more like a old man doing rehab at the moment at the gym. So I'm doing like a 60 kilo here, a 20 kilo there, and people are like, oh Lee, you're doing a new exercise. I'm like, yeah, it's a new core exercise. So I just...
How's your bicep?
Not too bad. Like I said, the bicep was 08, and you'd always see it okay after the operation, but now it's just more, like I said, my tricep, just because it's not firing properly, so it's just hard to do stuff.
I remember because you said you were moving at a friend's TV, because he was moving him. Oh, your TV?
Yeah, when I moved home, my mum brought me this nice new TV, and I was so excited to get it out the box. So it was like a big flat screen, and started lifting it that way, but it kept sliding, so I turned my hands that way, and when I lifted it, I just ripped straight off the bone. So between the TV and the car accident, it's the only time I've ever been injured. So.
Oh wow! Do you remember the time you filmed me snoring?
Yes, you were snoring very loud, but I think that was really just some of my cum still stuck in your throat. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
It was like Blair Witch. It was at night. He had the night vision camera on, and because you brought your friend Mark, and I said, you guys have my 2 bedrooms, I'll have the sofa. And I just competed twice, so all I want to do is get drunk every night. And anyway, so Lee puts the camera on himself, with the night vision. And he's like, look, Giles has been, it was at Richter scale 8 or something.
I think so. Well, the first, because we were actually in Newcastle. I'm from Newcastle in Australia. Giles is from Newcastle on time. I actually thought fucking Nessie had come down the river. I thought I found Loch Ness, but it was you. I thought I was going to make a fortune.
I've actually got that excerpt in one of my YouTube show. I call it the Blair Snitch Project.
That's actually a good video, that one.
That was good. Yeah, that was a good. I watched it a few weeks ago. That episode, because you used to do a monthly Bodybuilders Reality, wasn't it? And honestly, it was so funny because when you were taking the piss out of my driving.
everything.
Yeah, it was just.
What about when you picked us up? You had a Jag, right? A Jag, 2 people, lots of suitcases, and there's a Jag, and I remember I was squashed in the back like that.
I mean, he literally had no room because I didn't realise he was bringing a friend with him, and I was like, look, I've only got it's a Jaguar XK8, it's a sports car, and then he turned up outside the hotel with all these suitcases, and I was like, that is not going to fit. And he went, Giles, that is going to fit. And he said, come back in 10 minutes, came back, and he managed to get everything in, but there was no room in the car left. And it was just like, that was such a fun week we had. That was such
It was a lot of fun.
Drove it all over the country, and I remember one of the seminars, and it was organised right at the last minute because I think one cancelled or something happened. And I remember turning up to the place, and it was all dark, and it looked like the place was shut. And I was thinking, oh no, this is going to be a disaster. There's going to be no one there because we only organised it literally a day before. We walked in, and the place was fucking packed. It was heaving, and I think that was the best seminar you did.
I think so too, and I actually like England because England they're a whole bunch of crazy cunts like me over there, so they ask stupid questions, I give stupid answers, half of them are all tatted up like me, so I can sort of relate to them somehow, I guess, because really, us Aussies are the convicts that got kicked out of, we're the criminals that got kicked out of England, so, we're sort of related some way.
Okay, well, I mean, mate, I could talk all fucking day, mate, so...
We can bore you to death, yes.
Yeah, we should do this instead, do a series. Yeah, anyway, Lee, obviously, with Lee Priest...
Serious, me on MD, you're serious? You're going to be kidding. Like that'll happen.
Okay, with Lee Priest at the Arnold Expo from muscular.com, I'm Giles Thomas.
Bye, Steve.
Bye, Steve.